Hi everyone, welcome to the first part of the tutorial for La Vie En Rose, as arranged by the great Chet Atkins and, as you will see, changed slightly by me for educational purposes. As always, a quick thank you to my top tier patrons first. The first two parts of the tutorial will be released on YouTube. For full access to the whole archive, please check out my Patreon page. If you only need the tab or notation file, then click the music notes link down below in the description. So I've taken a slightly different approach this time, and I'm not teaching this song exactly like Chet Atkins played it. Ever since I started doing the tutorials, I have gotten a lot of messages from people explaining how difficult they find it to make the transition from, let's say, a basic version of Freight Train to a full-blown fingerstyle song like Windy and Warm. This seems to be the case in particular for beginning Thumbpick users, and that is exactly the group I'm targeting with this tutorial. However, Chet's original arrangement of La Vie En Rose is played in an almost classical manner, picking hand high above the strings, no thumbpick and no muting at all. So I had to change that around, and I adapted Chet's arrangement in such a way that all the parts make sense now if you play it with a thumbpick. I now feel this tune is a perfect stepping stone to more difficult songs. If you can already play Chaplin in New Shoes and Baby's Coming Home, then give this one a try. To me, it seems like the ideal tune to master before moving on to Borsalino. Alright then, let's do this. Okay, straight to playing then. The guitar is in standard tuning, and since we are using this tune to practice our thumb picking skills, I'm of course using a thumb pick. Now, if you're here for the tune and you're in no need of a thumb pick lesson, then you can play the whole arrangement without using one as well. So as always, see what works for you and then just go for it. Let me play through the first section of the tune one time so you can have a first look of what you're up against. Here we go. Let's call that verse A, or the first section of the verse. The verse in this case is quite long, so I'm going to divide it up into different sections. Although you just saw me move around the neck quite a lot, there's only 4 chords in this first section. And we start out with an A chord. Open A string, then ring finger, 7th fret on the D string, middle finger, 6th fret on the G string. Index finger and pinky are going to play the melody notes. The first one is sitting on the 5th fret on the high E string. You start by playing the open A string together with the high E string, then you just alternate through the bass pattern. A string, D string, E string, D string. Now, whenever you get the chance, on the 2nd and 4th beat, like Tommy Emmanuel does, try to add in the G string as well. This is only the D string, A string, just to the D string. Now I'm going to add the G string alongside that. And that sort of gives that 2nd and 4th beat a lot more of a percussive character, which drives the rhythm of the song or the pace of the song forward a lot more than just the D string. So if you're completely new to this, only the D string will suffice. If you're already a bit more advanced, try to catch the G string whenever possible. One more time, first bar. And then as you head back to the D string, for the 4th beat, you just drop down the index finger to the 4th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just pick the D string and E string at the same time. On to the next bar. Just drop down the pinky on the 7th fret on the B string, and you play that together with the open A string. Then you remove the index finger so you get an open E string all the way down below. play that together with the D string, still holding down the 7th fret. And as you move to the low E string with the thumb pick, you pick the G string, still holding down the 6th fret. So basically this whole bar, only thing you have to do is lift the index finger. That's all that needs to happen up until now. Those are the first 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Then you drop the index finger back down on the 5th fret. You play it together with the D string, still holding down the 7th fret. And then you move to the 4th fret again. 2 8th notes. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Back to an open A string. Those are 2 8th notes. Everything else is sitting right on top of the bass note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Those first 2 bars. Onto the 3rd bar. 3rd bar is just holding down the chord shape. You're currently holding down after the 2nd bar. You're just moving through the chord shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just that one melody note right in front of the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you ended up D string alongside the B string, still holding down the same chord shape. Then the next bar we're going to start moving down. 2, 3. Let's first do that. So you start by just lifting the index finger again. So you were sitting on this chord shape, releasing the index finger, just playing A string, open E string again. And then you pick thumb pick on the D string and index finger, plucking the G string, still holding down the 6th fret. And now we're going to slide down. In the tablature, it looks as though you have to connect that 6th fret to the 2nd fret. That's not really necessary. All you're doing is you're going to pick, you're going to slide down. Somewhere along the lines of that slide, you're going to stop applying pressure, and then you're going to switch to a small bar at the 2nd fret across 4 strings, all the way from the G string to the high E string. So the first note you play on that bar is just 2nd fret on the G string together with the low E string. See, and I'm just sliding down, and somewhere along I just stop pushing down on the strings and I switch to the index finger. And then as I move back to the D string, I add the pinky and the ring finger on the 4th fret on the G string and the high E string. And that is picking twice together with the thumb pick, D string, G string and E string at the same time, and then just picking the G string and E string one more time, releasing those 2 fingers and heading back to the bar on the 2nd fret. That's all that happens on that 4th beat. And once more to an open A string. All this time we're always in an A chord, nothing else yet. One more time, that 4th bar by itself. 3, 4. And the next bar again is just alternating through the bass part. Let me play those first 4 bars all the way through. That was already bar 5, but as you can see, it's just holding down the bar on the 2nd fret, alternating through the bass part. Bar 5. And that is all that happens in bar 5. You're just holding down the bar on the 2nd fret. 1, 2, 3. just alternating through the same bass pattern, A string, D string, E string, and as we head back to the D string, we remove the bar, we only push down on the D string, so you get an open E string on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just open E string together with the second fret on the D string. Now we move again to an A chord, an A major 7th chord, bar number 6. With a bit of bizarre chord shape all the way at the end, but the beginning is simple enough. You come from that previous bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That is the A major 7th chord shape. Middle finger, 2nd fret on the D string. Index finger, 1st fret on the G string. Ring finger, 2nd fret on the B string. Open A major 7th chord. You start by playing the A string together with a melody note on the B string. Then plucking the D string with the thumb pick, G string with the index finger. And as you move to the low E string, you switch the ring finger from the B string to the 2nd fret on the G string. That's the simple move that happens. So 1, 2, 3. And now we're moving into a bit of a bizarre chord shape. I'm going for a full bar across 6 strings right away on the 2nd fret because we need that for the next chord. So it's not going to make sense now, but in a second it will. Then I add the middle finger, 3rd fret on the A string, the ring finger, 4th fret on the B string, and the pinky, 4th fret on the high E string. This looks kind of bizarre. I'm convinced that this is actually a C diminished chord with a G sharp on top in the melody. But because we're missing a finger, or you would need one extra to play that chord in full, we're actually moving from a full diminished chord to a fragment of a diminished chord, so we can add that G sharp 4th fret up top. So one more time. Bar across 6 strings, 2nd fret, middle finger, 3rd fret on the A string, ring finger, 4th fret on the B string, pinky, 4th fret on the high E string. You're picking the A string, G string, B string, and E string at the same time. And it sounds kind of tense on its own. It's not easy to grab this chord right away. So you come from that A major 7th chord. That's not an easy chord to go for straight away, but give it some time, practice it slowly, and it will come together. After this chord, we move into a B minor 7th chord shape. Standard bar chord, we're still holding down the bar at the 2nd fret, that is what that was there for. Adding the ring finger on the 4th fret on the D string, middle finger, 3rd fret on the B string. That is our next chord. So one more time, starting from, let's say, the 5th bar. 1, 2, 3. And so that next bar is nothing but staying on the B minor chord. Again, thumb picking through the bass part. So you get this. So just melody note on the A string, sorry, melody note on the high E string, bass note on the A string. Again, trying to catch those 2 strings with the thumb pick. And you're just alternating through the bass part, A string, D string, E string. And now the first fill in 8th notes. After that low E bass note, you pick with the index finger, 2nd fret on the G string, holding down the bar. And then, using the thumb pick and the middle finger, the D string and B string at the same time, and then quickly releasing the whole bar to play an open E string. That is the move that you should get all the way at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to a low open E string. One more time, really slowly. 1, 2, 3, maybe even slower. This is the first section that's a bit busier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then I just move into an E chord and I just play strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can stay on the low E string, strum, E string, strum, or you can alternate to the B string as well, E string, B string, before we move into the next chord. This is basically up for interpretation, whatever you like. You can also play, instead of a full E chord, play an E dominant 7th chord, just releasing the ring finger out of there. This is sort of what you want to make of it. Let me try and play those last 4 bars all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, now I played the low open E string 2 times and I went for an E dominant 7th voicing. Whatever works, it's all good here. Let me try and play those first 8 bars all the way through. Then we move back all the way up the neck to a B minor 7th chord shape. So there you go, the first 8 bars done. You can play half of the verse now. Take all the time you need to get this down, and I'll see you again in part 2 for the next 8 bars.